Viewers, 25 people lost their lives in the Goa Inferno tragedy, and Times Now will continue to pursue justice for them. We will continue to demand answers from the high and mighty until accountability is fixed. From Goa to Thailand, Times Now is tracking the case closely. Saurav Luthra and Gaurav Luthra, the brothers who owned the Goa nightclub where the fire incident happened, fled to Thailand. They applied for anticipatory bail in a court in Delhi, but no immediate relief was granted to them. They've sought to shun the onus for the tragedy, contending that they were not running the day-to-day affairs of the nightclub. They argue that the daily operations and compliance issues were handled by the on-ground managers. Regarding their escape to Thailand just hours after the tragedy being struck, Luthra brothers claim their travel was related to professional engagements. Let's quickly take a look at the key arguments cited by Saurav Luthra in his anticipatory bail plea. These covered Luthra brothers have sought anticipatory bail for 4 weeks, but the Delhi court refused to grant them interim protection from arrest. Why? We'll tell you at the moment what was actually observed. Because the transit anticipatory bail plea that was filed by the Luthra brothers, and then Luthra brothers have sought anticipatory bail for 4 weeks. Now, the court has specifically said that there will be no immediate interim relief. They've sought a response from the Goa government. While the Luthras argued that we were licensees, not the owners, they've also gone on to say that there were operational managers in custody and the matter was listed for further hearing on Thursday. All right, big breaking news coming up on the show at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. The Luthra brothers have been tracked in Thailand and could surrender to authorities soon. That's a big update coming in. Sources working on the case have told Times Now that officials have been tracing the Luthra brothers and have now zoomed in on the resort in Thailand where Saurav and Gaurav Luthra are believed to be staying. Let me quickly, in fact, go across to my colleague Rucha, who's joining us. Rucha, very clearly, following the issuance of the Blue Corner notice, a lot of information surrounding their whereabouts has been shared by the police here in India through the CBI and through the Interpol with the Thailand counterparts. What really are we learning about the location now of the Luthra brothers?
Well, this is a major breakthrough in the Goa fire case, where now the authorities the team that is tracing the Luthra brothers has found their location. In fact, as per our sources who are closely working on this case, have told us that the team that is tracing the Luthras is stationed at the same location as the Luthras, and currently each and every update is given to the Goa police, to the CBI, and with the help of Thai authorities, all the digital movements, all the physical movements are also being tracked by the authorities, and this is a major breakthrough in this case, in this investigation. While there were people struggling for their life, people who were fighting for their life here at the Burj Club, the owners managed to fly away from the country, and they left the country, leaving all their staff behind. And while
so
they
the
were
managers who are left to handle the situation, they've even shrugged off responsibility in the courts. How responsible is that? Rucha, stay with us because we have more breaking news coming in. There's a big lead on the Luthra brothers. Top sources have revealed to Times Now that the Luthra brothers could have been hiding in Patong. There's a high probability of them hiding somewhere in Patong, particularly in the countryside, to merge along with the tourists there. Let's quickly take this across to Isha, who's joining us from Patong in Thailand. Isha, what are your sources in the Thailand government telling you? What are the police authorities there telling you? Why is it that they suspect that they are in Patong area?
Madhav, the search for the Luthra brothers is only intensifying as the days pass. We are reporting from Patong. This is a key tourist area in the city. This is where, in fact, it's almost 11:30 p.m. in Thailand, and you can still see that this place is still buzzing with activity. There is a lot of hustle and bustle here, and what my source has confirmed to us here at Times Now is that this was the exact reason that this area could have been picked by the Luthra brothers, is because they could have easily managed to merge into the tourists. In fact, not just that, this is also an area where rather than hotels, there are more homestays and resorts. And the question is, how are they different? Because Thailand has a centralized system which that the biometrics and the passport copies are taken at every hotel. So at resorts and homestays, the rules are slightly easy. So this is also one of the probable reasons that the Luthra brothers could have been
as documentation, which is why they probably could be in one of those homestays, is what the authorities are telling you. And in fact, Rucha and Nisha, stay with us, because then thanks for getting us those big updates. But we're going to continue to report on the story. Priyank also joining us on the broadcast. We'll just come to you in a minute, because meanwhile, the third partner, Ajay Gupta, has been apprehended by cops. He was produced at Delhi Saket Court, which has granted a transit remand for a period of 36 hours. Gupta will now be taken to Goa and produced before a court there. However, Ajay Gupta has also tried to shun owners, saying that he was merely a sleeping partner in the restaurant. A Viewers Times Now has also reported that the blue corner notice has been issued against the Luthra brothers. Thai authorities have told Times Now that they will start looking for the Luthra brothers. Of course, they have begun that effort, is what we've just broken to you. Of course, an official communication to that effect has also gone out. And in fact, in an exclusive news break, there's also an inside scoop on the Goa police probe. We're learning that the brothers were booked, or they had booked their flight tickets to Thailand at 1:17 a.m. on the 7th of December. The fire was reported at 11:39 p.m. on the 6th of December after within 2 hours, or even less than an hour and a half. In fact, the booking of this Thailand trip was made on the Make My Trip platform at a time when the Goa police and fire department teams were struggling to control the flames and the rescue operations. The accused were allegedly making arrangements to leave the country. Let's quickly take this across to Priyank, who's joining us. Priyank, this is absolutely shocking. On the one hand, they have claimed in the court that they were going for routine business. On the other hand, within an hour and a half or less than 2 hours after the fire has struck, they are busy booking their Thailand trip tickets. It doesn't get more shocking than this.
Yes, certainly, Madhav, while they were traveling for the 24-kilometer distance from the residence here in the national capital to the airport, probably that time this ticket would have been booked, because for international flights, anyone has to be there with 3 hours before the flight timing is there. 5:25 was the timing, and the flight took off around 5:20. So obviously they were about to reach to the airport when these tickets were booked from the MMT. But the fact of the matter is they have to come back, because with the new law, Madhav, BNS, trial and absentia options are there. And if a person becomes a fugitive, then certainly his property will be seized. So these business entities know it for the fact that they might have to fight the legal battle when they come to India. But they cannot compromise with the kind of empire which they have built up, because the kind of wealth they have gotten, which was certainly suggesting that they had taken money from different entities. We have also reported yesterday that there were 42 companies. Most of them were looking like shell companies. So Luthras have to be back. That's why this argument was given by Siddharth Luthra, a senior lawyer before the court, that they want to come back, but they want some sort of relief from the court. But the court did not give any kind of interim relief to them. And tomorrow at 12 noon, the order is expected to come out from the Rohini court. So in this particular time period, the lawyers would be suggesting them to come back. If they don't do so, then certainly the trial and the absentia option available with the law
will begin. The wheels of justice will turn. And in fact, what is going to be very significant is the fact that the Luthra brothers, the coward, absconding Luthra brothers, might I add, who've left their complete staff, they've ditched them, they've ditched their customers, and they have run away to luxury of Thailand, where they are at a resort, is what we are told at the moment. And this really goes to show that these individuals will have to come back. They will have to face the law here in India. Rucha, Priyank and Isha, who's reporting there from Thailand, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us with those exclusive breaking updates. All right, more information coming in. Now, sources have told Times Now that the Ministry of External Affairs has received communication from the government of Goa with regard to Gaurav Luthra and Saurav Luthra. It's examining the request to revoke the passports under the Passport Act of India as per the extant rules. Let's quickly take this across, in fact, to Priyank. Priyank, this is big information. MEA is now going to cancel the passports.
Yes, Madhav, the so-called notice was earlier issued by the RPO, and now MEA has also got communication from the Goa police official, which is related to cancellation of the passport. So adding more trouble to Luthras. Certainly, if the MEA is proceeding with cancellation of the passport, they have no option to come back to India. But they still have 12 hours of time period in their hand before they could wait for the Rohini court's order, where the application is still pending. Most probably looking at the kind of argument which is there by the Goa police official, and more report which is expected to be submitted before the court, which will mention that what is the time period when they actually book the flight. They might have to come back, but these are the legal proceeding which is forcing the Luthras to come back as soon as possible.
Thanks so much, Priyank, for that update. Let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guest. With us is Rupesh Kamath, spokesperson of the Goa BJP. We also have with us Advocate Susie Ben Shah, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, is with us. Captain Viracio Fernandez is a Congress member of Parliament from the South Goa constituency. We also have Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer. You know, one thing that I'm not able to understand, Sanjay Sahai, how can you make a legal argument in the court that I was going to attend my business meetings in Thailand? I'm booking my tickets at 1:17 in the night when the fire is struck at about 11:49, just a little over 1.5 hours before. You make that argument in the court, I'm going for business meeting, but the timing of the booking of the ticket just exposes the whole story.
It is not only the timing of the booking of the tickets. These fellows have already planned these things that just in case of an eventuality of this nature in 2022 of the restaurants, pubs and bars across the country, this will be the nature of action which they will take. So that is a very standard sort of a protocol which they are maintaining, and side by side trying for anticipatory bail, giving all the fundas. It is not only of that they're going for a routine business trip. They're also saying that the compliance issues, regulatory issues and day-to-day operations is handled by the managers. They have nothing to do with that. These are not compliance issues. These are not day-to-day operation issues. These are clear-cut decision-making issues. This is operating without any permit. So from the construction permit to the Tourism Development Board to Coastal Area Zone Authority, literally any and everything, absolutely nothing has been taken care of and has been running roughshod. And these two Luthras, I think they were the leading icons of hospitality industry in this country, who could play around with anybody, any government, any organization and rule the roost in the manner they did.
Yeah. Rupesh Kamath, respond to that.
While the law will catch on with them, one line, while the law will catch on with them, when will the law catch up with the governance in Goa, which is the primary culprit? People might go to the gallows, but literally total breakdown of any enforcement, regulatory, absolutely, literally no mechanism. And as long as we allow the governments and the governance mechanism and very servile, cutting-edge bureaucracy, which is controlled by the higher end and the political executive.
Rupesh Kamath, respond to that. The western coast of India in Goa is running like the Wild West. Everyone can do as they please. Permissions be damned, governance be damned. Who will take accountability for the lack of governance, sir? Why should such fire safety surveys, which are now happening on ground, not have happened without such a tragedy, without 25 people losing their lives, Rupesh Kamath? Unmute yourself and speak. Sir, you continue to remain mute. We cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Answer. Who will answer for the accountability of the government?
Madhav, can I please come in?
Mr. Kamath, the question is for you. All right, there's a problem with the audio. Let me just go take that question across to Susie Ben Shah. Susie Ben Shah, you know, the question is this. You have an IPS officer on the panel, and he's talking about the rampant corruption, the rampant violation of norms from CRZ to excise to fire, whatever it may be. You know, and it's one thing, there are states in which the police is accountable. In this state, in this particular case, it's not the police who has the licensing. There are 20 departments whose license is required. All 20 of those departments failed.
Good evening to everyone. And we as Shiv Sena, as the part of the NDA government, and part and also supporting the Goa government in the way they have acted, it cannot be denied that this is a crime. It's not an accident. It's not a mere accident. It's a crime. And according to me, it is a murder, not culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. And accordingly, the Goa government, understanding the gravity of the crime, of the heinous crime, and to ensure that the 25 families get justice, have moved swiftly. They have fixed a panel of the collector, the police, the fire department, and in a manner which is accountable, which is swift, and it is documented. Within 7 to 8 days...
so swift that the Luthra brothers flew away. So swift. They were allowed to fly away in the night. Amazing alacrity, ma'am. This is amazing alacrity. This is a mockery of the 25 victims. When you say that the owners of the club were able to get away, you're saying this was swift action.
No.
India of 2025. Viksit Bharat.
They are criminals. No, please hear me. Allow me to complete my sentence. They are criminals and they have their ways and means of running away. I mean, you and me won't do it, but they've shamelessly done it. But the long arms of justice, the intention of the Goa government cannot be doubted. Within 4 hours, we have moved. The DG, the police have swung into action and they've taken punitive action. Punitive action by breaking all their lounges, bars, which is also gives a signal to all the bars and lounges which are working illegally, if at all, to beware that now the Goa government is going to be
all this time, ma'am. Is it their job to ensure the safety of the people of Goa, the visitors of Goa? Or is their job to ensure that tourists get burnt alive? Is that the job of the Goa government?
Mr. Madhav, now again you are sweeping the entire Goa tourism industry in one brush.
Because the Goa government has clearly failed in this case.
Shouldn't have happened. But the government has not laxed in taking action. Now that should be taken. They've moved the Interpol. They've tracked Gupta.
So we should wait for lives to be lost before government takes action. Anand Ranganathan, are you getting this logic? Because I certainly am not.
Madhav, I'm just appalled and aghast that people can speak like this. I'm sorry to be so blunt here, but I congratulate you for taking this tough stand and asking tough questions. 3 very brief points. Number 1, the government is swift. The government is taking action. These charlatans, culpable murderers were running their entire outfit illegally. They had no NOC from the fire department. And you say the government is swift. And what about now? Please don't interrupt me. When you talk of swiftness, let me tell you the facts. At 11:39, the fire started. At 1:17 a.m., they booked the tickets. And at 5:30 a.m., they escaped to Thailand. For 6 hours, they could not be detained. You call this swiftness? Even Bollywood police comes quicker. When you have a situation where you immediately know within 5 minutes who the owners are, they need to be arrested. When you know that they would try and escape, you cannot have a lookout notice or detain notice to all the airports where they might escape. In 6 hours, you can't do that. And secondly, when you talk of, now please don't interrupt. Please, you've had your say. Now I want to say as a common man. Now please, I'm not talking to you. You should not be angry.
Let him make his point.
You should not be angry.
And there are others who have not yet spoken as well. We have a lot of time left.
Please allow me to finish. Please allow me to finish. Number 2, you remember how Malia was allowed to escape? There was a detain notice by CBI. Lookout notice was detained. Somebody changed it to inform. And 10 years later, Malia has still not come back. Now, Thailand, we might have an extradition treaty with Thailand. But do you know, there are 3 land border nations with Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, who do not have an extradition treaty with India? What is to say? Tomorrow these Luthra brothers will cross the border and then they'll be like Malia.
Very important point.
And you call that swiftness? Is it a joke out here? Who the hell are you?
No.
Who gave you the right to become politician? You call it swiftness?
No personal remarks. No personal remarks. Let's keep our argument civil. I can understand the anger. Dr. Ranganathan, but let's keep it civil, please. And Susie Ben Shah, this is like really rubbing, insult on top of injury. This is like rubbing salt in someone's wounds. 25 people have died. Try telling their family members that action was swift. Are those 25 lives going to come back with this kind of action? Please tell me.
Our first statement was we are with the family. We want the justice for them. It was a crime. For heaven's sake.
Who has
Now,
resigned
whether
from the
Mr.
government?
Ranganathan...
Who facilitated
No,
it,
no,
ma'am?
Official has resigned.
allow me to
Who
complete, Mr.
facilitated
Ranganathan.
it?
Which official has
Whether
resigned?
Mr. Ranganathan appreciates or not, the
6
people
hours.
of India
Madam,
do
6
appreciate
hours
it.
happened.
That
You
we
allowed
have
them to
tracked
escape.
the
Which
culprit.
police officer resigned?
Because they flew
Which
away
official resigned?
from Delhi. Mind you, Madhav, they flew away from Delhi. The Goa government, it's not that the government has aided and abetted. In fact,
Susie Ben Shah, let me just tell you, and I think this is fairly well known, that there is a cozy nexus of certain officials who have also got a stake in Delhi and who have a stake in Goa. Let's be very, I'm not going to name any names, but I will just tell you that if these individuals who are running over 2.5 dozen, nightclubs, restaurants across the country, if they are allowed to get away in this manner, it's clearly because they have been tipped off. Things don't work. People don't work with this speed. And if they've left the country, if a lookout circular was not there, then it's only the prosecuting authorities and the police who have to account for it. And I'm going to take that question across to Rupesh Kamath. Because Rupesh Kamath, today you have a situation where these individuals are sitting in Thailand. The authorities there might be cooperating. They might be zooming in on those individuals. But what's the guarantee they won't fly off or go across the border into Laos, Cambodia or any other neighboring country? Then who will account for it, Rupesh Kamath?
I think we are almost all are hopeful that the wheels of justice will catch them. I think the way the things are moving out, it appears that they will be brought back to India very soon. I think the Goa police had initiated the lookout notice in the morning, and it is unfortunate that they have left the country, but I think Goa police have left no steps undone that to catch them. So they are on the go, and I think that very soon they will be brought back to India.
Sir, but what about the accountability of the state government? How can your fire department allow such kind of fire events in places where there is one or two exits? What is going on with your licensing system in Goa? Because there's rampant violation through your Sarpanch system. When is that going to change? Tell us.
Unfortunately, the Luthra brothers have taken advantage of all the
Not only Luthra brothers, sir. There are dozens of others. There are demolitions going on. Why? What was happening before this? Were the palms of officials being greased? Is the corruption so rampant?
A magisterial inquiry is probing the role of all officers right from bottom to top, and the truth will come out very soon. Today, the Joint Inspection Monitoring Committee has conducted various surveys at all the coastal belt, all the restaurants, clubs. Fire safety guidelines have been issued. A committee.
Why now, sir? Does it take 25 deaths for the eyes of the officials to open?
Yes, but
yes,
unfortunately,
it takes 25 deaths.
Now, the government is swift on taking the action.
Again, my God, I cannot believe we are coming back to the same argument, sir. We just told Susie Ben Shah, it is highly insensitive of you to say you were swift when the actual culprits have escaped the jurisdiction of this country and the clutches of law. If they come back, it's a miracle. It's a miracle if they come back.
To take action, further actions now to see that there are no more such tragedies. I think they have formed these monitoring committees and they are on the ground. They have covered all the coastal areas of Bardesh, Tiswadi, in the area mostly where these nightclubs and restaurants are. Today itself, they have covered all the restaurants, all the nightclubs, and they have given the guidelines and SOPs on how all these safety measures have to be taken. They have been given time to, if they found that they are not following those norms, they will be shut down.
Mr. Kamath, is this what you're going to tell the family of those who've lost their loved ones? That we are taking action now? That police is moving swiftly? Is this what you're going to tell them? If you meet them face to face, can you look them in the eye to eye and say this?
There is no replacement for what has happened in that tragedy, but unfortunately, but now we have to look further to see that such things doesn't happen anymore.
Of course you should have, and you should have done this ages ago. It should have been done yesterday, not after the incident happened. But Captain Fernandez, I want you to come in on this. Is this argument acceptable that now things are moving swiftly? Now nothing will happen in the future. The fact is that we know how governments work. This will be forgotten in 3 months.
Thank you. I've been hearing the arguments of my colleagues here, and I can understand the anger of Dr. Ranganathan and how very well put by Mr. Sahai, Now, having been involved in Goa and politics as well as activism, you have to know that this has just not happened now all of a sudden. There have been complaints filed in the last 10, 12 years by various concerned citizens flagging the violations. When we say these violations, the laws are there. What the BJP spokesperson are saying, guidelines have been issued. Forget the guidelines. The law is very strong, but the law is not being followed. There are two things that are being done. Law is applicable for the people of Goa. Law is not applicable for these businessmen who come with money bags and who have been bribing their way. There is a nexus between those in power, some top officials, and these businessmen. So if they have escaped, probably they have been told, please go away before the things come out, the truth comes out. And it will become difficult for these politicians and these officials. Now, the other thing is, now there is another tragedy waiting to happen. And that is because all this fire incident and tragic incident has happened, all the tourists have now moved to the casinos. Casinos are in River Mandavi. And now the capacity has gone to 2.5 to 3 times over and above the permitted. What happens in case there is an accident on the casinos? There are thousands of liters of diesel in the ships. So these violations are across. This has been happening for years.
Rupesh Kamath, you know, this particular incident, when it happened, I was looking at an aerial photograph. It appears to have been built over a water body, possibly a river, I don't know.
No, it is built on the salt pan, which is...
On the salt pan.
Salt pan.
How are such constructions allowed in the first place? Why are the exits not monitored? If there are dozens, if not hundreds of people inside a location, how are they supposed to even survive? You're building death traps in Goa. And the law doesn't apply to those who have big bags of money, says the Congress Member of Parliament. Please respond to him.
It's not a double engine. It's a SOS Sarkar, sold out Sarkar.
Okay, let him respond now.
Yes, I definitely admit that the Luthra brothers did take advantage of the non-coordination of various authorities which should have acted here. There was a structure on this salt pan along so many years back belonging to a Goan. Subsequently, people have sold that piece of land, and this illegal structure have come up.
He is defending the Luthra brothers by saying there was a structure.
So you're saying there was no structure?
There was a structure there.
What are you saying? Mr. Fernandez, was there no structure there?
He is defending by saying there was a structure. This is the defense. This is the initial defense of the Luthra brothers. This is how the alibi will be built to save the Luthra brothers. This is how the Luthras and the Guptas and all the Sharmas come and loot, because they know that these government officials will help them to get away.
You want to respond to that, Mr. Kamath?
Now, first of all,
I'm not defending these criminals here. Definitely not, and will never defend. They have taken advantage of the miscoordination, the local bodies here, by taking support or bribing or whatever it is. And this should not have happened at all.
No, it should not have happened. It's quite obvious now, sir. People have lost their lives. Obviously, this should not have happened. But Dr. Ranganathan, what are the lessons? When are we ever going to learn? Whether it is the Bengaluru stampede, whether it is the Goa tragedy, the point is across country, across governments, the attitude remains the same.
Look, first of all, I condemn the casual casteism with the Honorable Congress MP showed with the Guptas and the Sharmas coming there. Please do not use such terms out here, even though you did not mean it. Now,
yeah, let's not get regionalist or casteist. Let's not take surnames. Let's not make this about stereotypes. We are all Indians on this panel, and that's why we're all equally pained and concerned and debating this. Let's get that very right, Captain Fernandez. On that note, Dr. Ranganathan, continue.
Yeah, and I want to make a very substantive point. We are conflating, Captain, please, with due respect, we are conflating two issues. One is that the government and the law and the arm of the law will go after all the irregularities and the nexus. That is one issue. I'm concerned about the other issue. It's almost as if two panelists out here are celebrating the fantastic doing of the criminals, that they were great criminals. I'm sorry. It's no use a government saying they are great. Tomorrow you will start complimenting Charles Sobraj for escaping. No. Please tell me which government official's head has rolled for allowing them to escape within 6 hours.
Well, you see,
can you name one person?
You know, there's somebody who I just read on social media say that for every incident in which citizens of the country are pained, troubled, lose their lives, you can guarantee there will be one thing. That is a committee. There will be a committee that will investigate it. Justice be damned, swift action be damned. That is the attitude here in India. Whatever be our legal limitations or governmental limitations, that's unfortunately what the citizens of India are reduced to. Grin and bear it till the government decides to take appropriate action. Leaving it there. Rupesh Kamath, Suzy Ben Shah, Dr. Anand Ranathan, Captain Ratio Fernandez, Sanjay Sai, thanks so much for joining us this evening.